Let's try this again, folks. So if you are watching in on the live stream, the second this is take two. It is Sunday evening. It is Sunday the 22nd of June 2024. And no, it's not 2024. What on earth am I talking about? It's 2025. It's the day after the summer solstice. We're now starting to get shorter days. Yesterday was the longest day of the year. Today it is the 22nd of June, the day after the summer solstice. Hello, Richard is in the house. That's good. Right, we are cooking on gas. Let's see if somebody on Facebook can come in and tell me that Facebook has got the comments coming up as well. So I'm really sorry about that, folks. I don't know what happened. It's just that mystery to me. I was saying earlier that I had hoped to be on my laptop, but it didn't work out with my laptop. And my granddaughter's actually using my laptop at the moment to download a lot of my live streams from over the years. And she's counting and counting and counting. There are hundreds and hundreds. Facebook is a go. Thank you. Right. Hello. We're cooking on gas. So I know that I don't know if Heather's back in the house. Heather sent me a message and said, and I was able to look at Messenger. I didn't realize, you see, if I went to Messenger, whether I would lose the broadcast. It doesn't. It just takes it off, and it brings the other screen up. So I now know that's how to do that. In future, when I'm live streaming, if I still only can live stream on my phone, I will have the laptop next to me, and then I can message people on that. But my granddaughter is using it because we're desperately trying to get all the live streams down. Facebook are deleting all the live streams this week. They did say they were going to delete it by hello, you're there, and I'm here, and now we're connecting. Thanks, Heather, for letting me know we weren't connecting, because I did wonder. I thought perhaps you'd all gone off me and you'd all abandoned me. I know Tracy messaged me and apologized she wasn't going to be in the broadcast tonight, but she's busy watching the Isle of Wight festival on the TV. It's actually Isle of Wight festival. It's the last evening. I've been away from the island, and I'm not sorry, because 55,000 people have descended onto the island. They got there on Thursday and they will leave tomorrow. So I'm not sorry not to be on the island at the moment. I am not a festival person myself. But I don't mind other people being festival people. Tracy's watching the broadcast tonight, and she promised she will watch the replay. So I'll have to tell her there were 2 attempts at doing the live stream tonight. Anyway, I did have my funny glasses on to start with on the other one. Look. But they won't stay on. Let's take my hat off. I put my funny glasses on. I bought these in one of the supermarkets, or one of the stores I went in this week, 99p, but I demand a refund because they won't stay on. They'll only stay on if I stick my tongue out and hold them up. There you go. It does look like I'm at the festival, doesn't it? Oh, with the festival hat, this hat and that hat. Yes, I do look like but I'm on the island. There we go. Right, this is much better now when you're interacting with me. I tell you what, let's have some sunshine glasses, shall we? If I want glasses on, let's have some sunshine glasses. There we go, sunshine glasses and a festival hat. And I've been watching loads of, when we've been uploading the Facebook lives. So as I started to say on the other broadcast, and then the broadcasts didn't work out very well, so we've restarted. We are desperately trying to save all my live streams, all my hello, you right? Okay, I'm live streaming. Okay. All right.
Would you like to see my prefect application?
Can I look at it afterwards?
Sure.
Is that all right? One of my granddaughters is applying to be a prefect. She's just done an application. Love my silver nails. Yes, look, my lovely silver nails. That's it. My granddaughter was just putting some stuff in that lives in the corner of this room. Two of my granddaughters have been away camping this weekend with their various organisations, and they're just unpacking. One of them's just unpacking her stuff and putting it all away, and the other one's busy on my laptop, trying to save all these. So I have been live streaming regularly since 2016. Sometimes once a day, sometimes in the beginning, not every day. I would do the carnivals and then I'd have a break and then, maybe do another carnival the following week or something. So there were not so many in the first part of my live streaming. When we got to COVID, I was doing maybe 1, 2, 3 live streams every day. Some of the live streams are on YouTube. Hello, Tina. Nice to see you in. Tina Furnival coming in there on Facebook. We've got Ailey coming in from Scotland on Facebook. We've got Heather and Richard on YouTube. I don't know. Did I miss anybody else coming in? There are more people watching than are actually commenting, but that's absolutely fine. If you want to comment, please do. If you don't, that's fine to sit in the background. Right. Okay. So I've seen that. I think I've seen all. Hello, Alexandra. Nice to see you too. And camping is your fun. Your favourite camping is in Ben Nevis. Well, they're not in Ben Nevis this time. They're in Seaclose Park, just on the outskirts of Newport. That's where the festival is now. It used to be the first ever festival was held in West White. And West White, if it was held over there now, it wouldn't mess up all the traffic and everything for all the residents on the island. It is now right in the middle of the island, and there have to be major traffic plans put in place. And that's why I don't mind not being on the island, because it really is quite tricky for everybody else who's not going to the festival. Congratulations. Oh, right. Richard has been catching up with my news on Facebook. He's saying congratulations to me, both of you. That's me and my daughter for Slimming World. So I lost half a pound this week. And I think some of you will find that a huge surprise, because the day before we were celebrating my twin granddaughters leaving school. So they turned 18 in May. They sat their last A levels on Thursday. And on Thursday evening, we went out. We wanted to give them a treat. They couldn't make up their minds what they wanted, or they might have wanted different things. And in the end, we settled for one of these, what do you call it? It was not an ice cream parlor. It was a place where they just sell these amazing desserts. And I've been Slimming World for a year and a half. I've been pretty much on track most of the time. Obviously, when it was the wedding, I did have wedding cake and things like that. I don't feel I've missed out much on anything, but I wasn't going to sit in this place and watch everybody else have these amazing desserts and not join in. So I chose one. Richard was saying he was a prefect and form captain in school 4.5 decades ago. Wow. Heather says, we appreciate everyone being here, whether you comment or stay a ninja. That's right. We all love having people in. So you don't have to comment if you don't want to. Heather said, my ice cream looked amazing. It was enormous. But it wasn't one of those ice creams that's over in like 2 seconds. It was all very nice and delicious, and there was substance to it, and there was some Ferrero Rocher in the bottom as well. I haven't had Ferrero Rocher for a long time. When I was a teacher, I was given Ferrero Rocher a lot by at the end of term. We used to get all sorts of goodies as teachers, and so often they gave us chocolates and things. That's probably why I piled weight on, because I didn't like to not eat the things that were given me when I was a teacher. So that's probably why I got something. Anyway, Ferrero Rocher were a particular favourite of mine. I do remember my second husband saying, tell your pupils not to give us Ferrero Rocher, not because he didn't want us to have chocolates, but he didn't like a Ferrero Rocher. He wanted something else, so he never got to share Ferrero Rocher because he didn't like them. That served him right. Sorry. I've had a wonderful week, Alexandra. Ailey saying congratulations. So yes. So I lost half a pound, surprisingly enough. After that, I don't know whether it's showing up yet. I mean, I'm still sort of maintaining as much, around, still maintaining, because I do nip on the scales every day. You're not supposed. They say you're not supposed to, but I like to know how it varies. So anyway, my daughter, she lost 2.5 pounds, but when she didn't have a great big ice cream like me, she was much more modest. She just had a couple of scoops in the bottom of the thing. But I thought, no, this time I'm going to push the boat out. I'll be straight. I went straight back on slimming plan that night. So I've been back on plan since then, just one little deviation, and it was delicious. I really enjoyed it. When you've got to celebrate, you've got to celebrate, and that's what we were doing, celebrating the twins' end of school. 1 minute, and actually, it's so funny because I did put a picture up of my twin granddaughter. We don't tend to put our children up much on social media, but as they were tiny babies, I thought that was okay. My daughter didn't mind. And then when I was moving something in the dining room, there was a box of photographs that had been passed on to me, and I forgot to take them home last time. And the box had obviously got knocked on the floor, and this is really uncanny, isn't it? So there were all these photographs on the floor, and I picked them up, but one of them was a picture of me. Now I didn't wear glasses back in those days, but this was a picture of me with the twins when they were toddlers, so a bit bigger than in the other pictures that I put on social media. How uncanny was that this week I put up a picture of baby twins as they're leaving school, and then that picture fell out as well. That was really funny. Bit of coincidence going on there, I think. Wait a minute, let's just go down here. Let's have a look. So I see that Richard's tagging Andrew. Let's hope he's coming in. So Ailey's been watching. She's saying she's been watching me for 8 years. She remembers when she started following me. I couldn't. Oh, well, hang on. Whoops. Hang on. I couldn't say Ailey's name in Scottish Gaelic. It's Scottish Gaelic for Helen. And of course, how I learned to say it, my brother worked out how to say it, I think. Somehow we worked out how to say it. So how I remember it's Ailey. So it's Eilidh. So look, this is how we spell Ailey. Let's show that. So anybody watching in, that's how Ailey's name is spelled. Eilidh. And the way I cracked out how to say it, I have an auntie Aileen, which is spelled Aileen. But if I remember, sometimes I have to use a way of remembering. So I thought of Auntie Aileen and just knock the N off the end. So now that's how I remember that it's Ailey, and that's how you pronounce it, and it's Scottish Gaelic for Helen. I'm going to take these off because it's darkening my world a little bit. Oh, it's nice and bright now. So I think I might take the hat off for a minute. I'm a bit warm. There we go. So yes, so thank you for your congratulations on our Slimming World successes this week. I've just had a lovely salad again tonight, and you can have so much on Slimming World. It's not. Some people think, oh, it's torture. It's a diet. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle choice. So you change what. Just the combinations of food, and actually it's working very well. If you think that I have lost 3.5 stone, so I got to 3.5 stone. I put a bit back on before, but I got back down to that 3.5 stone, and I feel so healthy. And now I see people who are perhaps bigger than so bigger people, let's say. And I would love to go up to them and say the health benefits, but it's not something you can do, is it? Because it would be regarded as rude. And so I don't. My daughter and I had this conversation the other day, and she said, do you feel that you want to tell people how to get help? And yes, I do, but you can't just go up to people and say, oh, because they might not be in the right headspace, not the right place. They might think you're being rude and critical when all you want to do is help them. So we're not going to do that, because we don't. If somebody asked for our help, then we would do that, but we don't want to be rude like that. Yes, my brother Haley said my brother David helped me to pronounce Ailey. That's right, he did. So Heather is saying she's glad my granddaughter is willing to help me get my videos switched over. Yes, and but the thing was, there are so many of them, and of course she was downloading them onto the computer because there didn't seem to be a way to download them from Facebook and straight onto YouTube. I suppose because they're not, they're not the same platforms. There may be a way of doing it, but I don't know. And we were downloading them to the laptop and then up. But I had this fear that there were so many that the hard drive would get full up. Well, she's telling me that it was showing low storage tonight. So what she's done, she went to find some USB sticks, but they were full. And of course, we can't go and buy one now because the shops are closed. It's Sunday night, and we don't have the stores open till late at night on a Sunday. Rest of the week, that's fine. And so I could do something tomorrow. But what she's doing now is she's uploading them to YouTube, putting them in private mode until I've just checked all the details before I put them all into public mode. So after this week, I will start publishing them all on YouTube. So those of you who've only been watching for a short time, if ever you want to go back to any of them, you will be able to. But there are hundreds and thousands of them. Probably, yes, it probably runs into thousands. If you think that 2016, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, there won't be so many because that's when I was seriously ill and getting recovered from pneumonia. 23, so 24, and then so that's 5, 6, 7, 8.5 years, something like that. That's an awful lot of videos, especially the ones that were done in the year when I was doing 2 or 3 at a time, 2 or 3 a day. Right, let's have a look. So let's see. Alex, she's just had a salad, lettuce, cucumber, celery, boiled egg. I had all of that. I had all of that lettuce, cucumber, celery, boiled egg, raw red and green peppers. Don't think I had peppers on it, and fresh mint leaves on top. Delicious. So I had for my tea, and I'll put a picture up later, I had lettuce, cucumber, celery, I had radishes, I had gherkins, I had Jersey Royal potatoes and egg. And I think that was all that was on it. I think that was plenty. That was absolutely plenty, and it was delicious. I do like salad. I love salad, and I eat lots of salad around the year. Probably not so much in the winter, but I do still eat salad in the winter because I love it, and I do like varying it. And putting all the different bits and pieces, like a rainbow. Eating a rainbow. You'll see me, putting up on my social media. Oh, I'm eating a rainbow, so that's lovely. Heather says it sounds delicious. Oh, and here's Debs. Debs is running late. Well, Debs, you missed the shenanigans at the beginning because I went live and nobody was commenting. And I thought, that's odd. I can see I'm live. I went off this screen and went onto another screen. I could see that I was live on Facebook because I ended up on the Facebook screen and could see me live on there. But I couldn't see, we had no comments. And then Heather, fortunately, sent me a messenger. And I thought, well, what happens if I go to Messenger? Do I lose my screen here? But I didn't, of course. It just went in the background. I went to see what Heather was saying. And she said, there's several of us here, but you can't see our comment. So we went off. I went off the broadcast and started all over again. So you didn't miss those shenanigans. Well, you did miss them, but you probably didn't want those shenanigans. So let's have a look. Ailey's saying her mother, Ailey's on Facebook, she's saying her mother was called Helen. Your mum knitted for the Salvation Army Homeless Shelter for 73 years, mostly blankets and winter hats. That was a lot of knitting time. I've done a lot of knitting years, not as many as 73. I'm going to be 75 in September. I probably started, I don't know how old I was, but let's say I was about 12, 13, something like that when I started knitting. Say I was 15, right? So what's 15 off of 75? So I've been knitting for 60 years, about that, all sorts of things. Oh, and at the moment, I forgot to bring it up. I'm knitting my friend's cardigan, and I've done quite a lot now. It's sort of, I've done almost up to the armholes on the back. but I meant to bring it upstairs and it's downstairs and I haven't brought it up. So you'll just have to look at the pictures and see what I've done. Oh, hang on. Oh, I think Kath's in the house as well. Right. So, yes, Richard's saying this is attempt 2 at the broadcast, and and Kath's in now. Which Kath is that? Is that Kath? Kath, which Kath is in the house? Well done on your weight loss. So, tell me which Kath is in the house, because we have more than one Kath come in. So, anyway, let me just have a swig of my coffee that my daughter brought me up. Oh, we did go and do some more plant therapy. So we did some plant therapy before. I think you knew that we'd done some plant therapy a week ago. And there are some gaps. There are some gaps in the garden, and I thought we needed to go and do some more plant therapy. So we went to Home Bargains this time, because Home Bargains is one of our cheapest stores. And some of the cheapest stores used to have really ropey plants. They weren't as good as some of the posher garden centres. But these days they seem to be fine. So we went there and we got obviously more for our money in that store, and bought a few other bits and pieces. Yes, I know I did it last week, didn't I? Because I showed you some of the other bits. I showed you my sponge lollipop and things like that last week. So yes, that was last week. This was, this week. So actually, in some ways, it's been quite quiet this week, because my grandson went to France on a school trip on Friday of last week, so he was missing all this week. And my son-in-law also went to France, but nothing to do with that. His work, he went to work. He went to France for a business trip, so he was missing. So the boys were out of the house this week, and 2 people down in the house did make quite a difference. It was much quieter, much calmer. But they're back now, and then they came back on Friday. They were both back on Friday, and then 2 of the girls went on Friday. Kath Hawkins, hello. That's nice to know which Kath it was. I wasn't quite sure. I hope you're well, Kath. So the 2 of the girls went away to a camp, and then they were back just after lunchtime today. The other of my granddaughters, one of the 18-year-olds, she works in a riding stables, and she absolutely loves that. She's going on to do university with working something. I don't know exactly what the course is she's doing, but it is to do with animals. She absolutely loves animals. You met Diana, ride mayoress at Diane at a nursing home you volunteer at, and she knows you. Yes, she does, Alexander. Oh, that is so funny, because on my table here, I think, but I can't see where I've put it. No, here. Oh, how weird is that? Not quite sure where it is. Oh, on my table somewhere here. I see it. Hang on a minute. So Alexandra's talking about our new mare in Ride, Diana. And just a short while ago, I was tidying up in my room here, because this is the room I stay in at my daughter's. And I've got a lot of craft stuff in here, and it was all getting into a big mess, and I was really it was just getting all very cluttered, and I wanted to tidy it up, and Hobbycraft know how to part me from my money. So I had a voucher. There was a voucher for Hobbycraft. If you spent £40, you got £10 off. If you spent £20, you got £5 off. Well, I spent, what did I do? So I bought some storage boxes and things, and I've been putting all my craft stuff into storage around me, so I'm not just all piles of craft stuff everywhere, and it looks so much tidier in here. But while I was doing that, I came across some paper, because some of my papers end up here, some of them end up at home, and I found a thing with Vote Diana Conyers, and this is our mayor. This is our mayor's ride, Diana Conyers. And this was obviously a piece of paper that I got given when she was when it was the election to vote for our town councillors. and she's not my ward. She's Ride Northwest, and I'm Ride West. But she she's very good. She's very good for the community, and she's helped me too. She does she gives advice. She was working for Citizens Advice, but now she just is advising for the council. And wasn't that funny though? You mentioned her, and I had just been reading that. And earlier I said I'd put up the pictures of the grandchildren, and then this when they were babies, because we were comparing them. 1 minute they're babies, and next minute they're leaving school. And then I found that picture that had fallen out of a box. There were not many pictures fell out of that box, but that was a picture of my granddaughters when they were toddlers, and that was just fun. So let's have a look. She made me laugh saying you record the meetings. I do, Alexandra, because yes, Diana knows me because I've recorded a lot of the town council meetings. It's something the town council should do. The public have a right to know what's going on in our town council meetings, but Ryde Town Council haven't really got round to updating themselves and actually putting the information out there. So I used to do a lot of the live streaming or videoing of the town council meetings and putting it up on social media. But I have said to them, I want you to do it. I don't want to be doing it. I want other people to be doing it. Ailey's saying she's seen the beautiful photo of me knitting in my garden. It's not my garden, it's my granddaughter's garden. And she has my granddaughter, not my granddaughter, my daughter's garden. Well, it's my granddaughter's garden as well. And they have they live in a little cul-de-sac. And they have a big front lawn and a big, huge tree. I love the tree. I photographed it in all the different seasons, and I love that tree. I'd love a painting of that tree or a huge, nice photograph of that tree. What I'd like to do is actually use it as a backdrop and put a lot of photographs of it, make it a family tree with photographs of the family on the tree. I might do that one day in my, when I get around to doing that as crafting. I don't know, but I love it. And they've got a bench they've got sort of like a little patio area as they come out their front door. And there's a bench, and I love sitting on that bench. I can't sit there too early in the morning because the sun is directly on the bench and it's too hot. But later in the day, it gets into, not too late into the morning, it gets into shade. And then I sit there and I knit a lot of the time. Didn't sit and knit today because it rained today. And anyway, I was inside doing bits, and then my daughter and I went out. And so we went to Hobbycraft, yes, where Hobbycraft persuaded me. But I had shenanigans at Hobbycraft. You know how I love my top cashback. I really love my top cashback, and I failed miserably this evening. Can you believe it? Wait a minute, let's just go back. Oh, hello, Sam. Sam's in the house now. Susan's in the house now. Great idea for the photos. Yes, I thought it was a wonderful idea. Project for you, Dev's tree picture. Yeah, absolutely. That's just would be right up Dev's street to paint it for me. Anyway, so yeah, so going back to Hobbycraft. So I had this voucher, and it was my daughter was going out, and I said, oh, can we go to Hobbycraft at some stage? So you have to dip in and out, catch up, replay. Some Hobbycraft stores are closing. Yes, I think, did I hear that? I'm not quite sure if I heard that. But anyway, hopefully the one near here, well, if it does close, I will save money. So every cloud has a silver lining. But at the moment, if you're a member of the Hobbycraft club, like these loyalty things that you have, every now and again they'll send a voucher. And when I bought the cricket machine, if you might remember, before my son and daughter-in-law's wedding, and we bought the cricket machine, and I bought it on top cash, and I had some loyalty vouchers, and they also had given every now and again they'll give you, if you spend this much money, we will give you this much off. Hello, Jackie. Jackie is one of Sam's best friends. Hello, Jackie. So anyway, so back in March, they gave me that sort of deal, and I bought the cricket machine. And actually, I bought the cricket machine using some of my top cashback reward money that I had saved up and put into a wallet. So that's what I did. Ailey saying Inverness Hobbycraft Shop is doing a sale before closing down. Oh, right. Okay. Well, it didn't say anything about this one closing down. I'll have to look. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, so my daughter said she would take me because there was a voucher and it was it was finishing on the 6th or 7th of July. So I just thought, well, let's go and have a look, see if there's anything I fancy. And you know, I tend to like to buy things when they're on an offer anyway, rather than full price. And then if you can do top cash back and things like that, or vouchers, whatever, that works well. Well, so it was, as I say, it was £40 and you get £10 off, £20 and you got £5 off. And I couldn't remember what I'd done before when I bought a lot of shopping. So I went up to the cash desk and I said, if I spend £60 but I split it as a 40 and a 20, can I get both offers? And she said yes. She wasn't sure. She said let's give it a try. But then I think I did do that before. And we went there and I was expecting the store to close at 4 because it's Sunday and most stores shut at 4 on a Sunday. Well, I couldn't understand why they weren't shooing us out at 4 o'clock. But my daughter had come in. She'd gone and parked the car. She dropped me off. And she said, oh, it doesn't shut till 4:30. So that, and even at 4:30, they didn't shoo us out. It was when we were in Bon Marché the other day, that shuts at 5:30 in a weekday. I went in at 5:15 and I wanted to try on my nice new tops. And they said, oh, we're closing soon. My daughter said, oh, is it nearly 5:30? They said, no, it's we close at 5:30. But they didn't, you know, there was 15 minutes still for us to shop. And I thought, well, if you owned the shop yourself, you would not be shooing customers out 15 minutes before the store closes. Anyway, I did proceed to try on this lovely T-shirt and this lovely T-shirt. Look, sparkly. Whoops, let's move that out of the way. Sparkly T-shirts and a nice green one. Green one wasn't sparkly, but I had bought some trousers the other day, size 14. I know sometimes it depends on the brand, what they're like, but you know, I am wearing mostly 14s now, which is a non-scale victory, as they call it. But anyway, we had those nice things, but they were not like that in Hobbycraft. Yes, my nail. That's why I went for. In choosing my nails, I had to have my nails done yesterday. My nails had got so long because, of course, my nails grow very quickly. And I mean, I have gels. I have acrylics put on the top. But you know, then it grows up and up, and then you get a big gap at the nail bed, the nail base where it's grown up, and they had grown so long. I was having trouble. I was a bit like a witch. I was having trouble even to do things. You know, I find it. I've had to adapt how I do things because I have acrylic nails, but they were so long. And I said to my daughter, "Please, can you take me to get my nails done?" Because I normally have them done on the Isle of Wight, but I wasn't there at the right time. And I couldn't be bothered. Sometimes I spent hours and hours scrolling through nail art to see what I'm going to have. I said to my daughter, I can't be bothered even to look today. So she said, why don't you have sparkly nails? So that's what I went for. Dead easy. All I had to do was choose which sparkle I wanted. And we went through and we found this nice one. And while I was having my nails done, I said to the person, I mean, they're all Oriental, so I don't know how good their English is, and they don't talk much to you. I used to love going to have my nails done. I like the process I like my nails being done. Don't actually enjoy it so much these days because they're all Oriental, they don't talk to you. Now, you might have noticed I'm a person who talks a lot. So I like to talk a lot to the person who's doing my nails. But that doesn't happen in these places. If somebody's sitting next to me, I tend to talk to them. And one time I got told off because I was talking to the lady here and I was obviously moving and I got told off. Anyway, you can't believe that, can you? Me talking too much. Anyway. There were several ladies. It was very busy yesterday. When we went in, I had to wait. We waited. Well, more than half an hour, probably about 3/4 of an hour because they don't tend to give you appointments. You just walk in. We should have gone just a bit later. It's suddenly the queue died down. Anyway, it didn't matter. I had my nails done. My daughter went off and met a friend while my nails were actually being done. And while I was having my nails done, I said, oh, yes, I'm going to have the sparkly silver. I said, and they'll match my shoes because I have got very sparkly. I haven't got them in here. They're downstairs. I've got sparkly Crocs. And I thought, well, my nails will match my sparkly Crocs. So when I was nearly finished, a lady further down, she said, oh, I want to see your shoes. She'd heard me say I'd got sparkly Crocs and she wanted to see my Crocs. And then we ended up having a conversation and I said, well, I'm a live stream and I have to do all these things, you know. So that was all fun. Yeah, see, so they matched the Crocs, and of course they will match the sparkly bits on here and on here. And of course I do like my sparkle. You can never have too much sparkle in my world. Right, let's have a look. Let's see. Right. Debs, it doesn't matter about the hats now because, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, oh, actually, yes, probably do sort that out with Susan. If anybody's done HUK hats that are just a hat, not fancy dinosaurs or all the different sorts of things, but just like a little hat, if we don't get them to HUK before the end of this week, it doesn't matter. Because what is happening, sorry, I've just diverted here. What is happening, now I knew this weeks and weeks and weeks ago. I had a conversation with Gordy. Gordy runs a wood shop. He does all sorts of things out of wood. And he's at Arreton Barnes on the Isle of Wight. And I found out that he had a lot of people making little hats for his wooden snowmen. And it turns out they were like our smoothie hats and they were making them for these snowmen. And he was making these he was making snowmen, and he loved these little hats, and lots of people across the Isle of Wight were making little hats. It turns out they were just like the smoothie hats that we make if we're making the bobble hats. Some of us have done really weird and wonderful things that are not like a hat, you know, like a cream cake or different things like, well, they'd be like GoLiveGranny's hats, but not like a snowman's hat, if you understand what I mean. I don't know if you understand what I mean. I hope you do. Oh, David is saying, thank goodness the Hawk bike shop in Cambridge didn't close till 5 today. The mobility scooter had a puncture in Dunelm. Oh no, oh no. Dunelm's a top cashback site, by the way, top cashback store. And so is Hobbycraft, and I totally forgot because I'll go back there in a minute. Let's do the Age UK and then we'll go back to Hobbycraft. So Age UK. So I had this conversation because I found out that lots of people were knitting hats for these snowmen, and what was happening, Gordy was paying £1 for each of these hats, paying the people £1 for their charities, their chosen charities. So, you know, when I'm thinking, well, I'm making these little hats to give to Age UK and they're going to get 30p each, or I can give them to Gordy and he will give us £1 each for whichever charity we want. It made more sense to give them to Gordy to get a pound for Age UK, except we had to reach a target of 12,500 on the Isle of Wight for Age UK, given directly to Age UK. Otherwise, they would not bank all the money that for those 12,500 hats, because how it works, Age UK is the main charity. Age UK Isle of Wight is one of the charities within the charity, if you understand what I mean. And all the smaller charities, they had a target of how many hats they had to meet. You know, the number of hats they had to meet. They have to be sent by the end of this coming week, up to the head office. And then if we've hit target, then Age UK Isle of Wight will get all the money, all the 30 pences for 12,500 hats. So what we wanted to do was make sure we hit the 12,500. But the point is, if any have gone over they have hit target. So we're at target now, and they have now announced. So I knew about Gordy and the pounder hat, and at the same time as I found out, he started to have a conversation with Age UK, Isle of Wight, to see if he could do better for them. So he had this conversation. So obviously they were thinking the same thing. They needed the 12,500 to go, to be done and sent off by next week. And then any spare we can do via Gordy and get £1 each a hat. So these ones do have to be actual hats. So Debs, if yours are actual hats, rather than a dinosaur or a different designs, but like a bobble hat, that sort of hat, a bobble hat or a bit of a hat with a pom-pom on, we can do it. And I can do it when I get back, which think I'm going home on Friday, 27th. But that will be too late to get them into Age UK for sending off, but we can do it via Gordy. Does that make any sense? I hope that makes sense. Let's have a look. Ailey loves t-shirt weather. Let's have a look. So Susan and Dev were going to sort out an address so that Susan could get them into the Age UK shop. But actually, you see, if they go to Age UK shop, they would have to be, I don't know what the place is, they've got to be at head office very soon. So it might be that we keep them and do them via Gordy, if they are the right sort of hats. Okay, let's see that. Otherwise, Heather saying there's no such thing as too much sparkle. There definitely is not too much thing as too much sparkle. So so let's see. Debs, let me know, because if they're like bobble hats rather than any other sort of hat, you can either well, some people were going to send them off to Isle of Wool so that I could get them from there when I'm back. So maybe we could have that sort of conversation offline, rather than, I mean, otherwise Susan's got to try and collect them. Oh no, if they go to Susan's house, she could take them, but they've got to be there. As I say, I don't know what the last cut-off, I don't know when they're sending their final ones to the head office. We're a bit close on that one now. So it might, it might be that we just do them via Gordy. Some of yours are bees and beehives, so those can go to St Ives Cave. Yes, do that. Absolutely do that, Debs. Ordinary hats can go to for Gordy afterwards. A friend who lived on the Isle of Wight is doing some now. Yeah, so that's perfect. Do that, Debs. Give your bees and beehives to your local Age UK for their totals, which is brilliant. And then if you're happy for us to have some for the Isle of Wight, I can let you know. I could either get you to, so rather than Susan have to be involved, because otherwise, so if that's okay with you, Susan, otherwise Susan's got to get to give them to me then. Whereas they could go to Isle of Wool and I can collect them from there. So we'll do that. Okay. And again, not so much, I don't know. With Gordy, he was selling, so he obviously, his living is making wooden things, wooden items, and I'm going to go and do a live stream with him sometime when I'm back on the island. But he makes the most marvelous wooden things. But he used to make snowmen between September and December. And then these ladies linked with him and decided to, somehow, I don't know how that connection happened, but these ladies were putting that. I think somebody bought, this what happened. I think somebody bought a snowman and they put one of their smoothie hats on the top of the snowman and probably put a picture up and tagged Gordy in it. I bet that's how it happened. And so he's ended up with an army of balmy knitters, as he calls them, and people all over the island have been doing this, which I didn't find out till long after they'd started doing it. And so they were making all these hats, and now what's happened, it's gone a bit viral. He's making the snowmen all year. So obviously it's the hat element that is going to charity. So he's donating £1 per hat to charity, and it can be whichever charities we want. Anybody who does this we can nominate the charities. Yes, Ailey's saying that she's knitted a few times over the years to help with the charities that we support. So there are lots of charities that we support. And so yes, so I'm looking forward to going. I had tried to go and see Gordy before, but then it didn't happen. So when I'm back, I'm going to certainly make sure I go and see Gordy and do a live stream or a video around his lovely little shop. And so Debs has been asked to make wooden plates for Santa biscuits and milk. We'll have pyrography messages on. Oh, that's wonderful, Debs. That really sounds nice. So Gordy obviously does, or he does all sorts of things. He doesn't just do snowmen, but he was doing snowmen. He does lovely little Isle of Wight shapes of the Isle of Wight in wood as well. You know, being a tourist destination, that's quite a good thing for tourists to buy. And his stuff is well liked. But I found out that since he was putting the hats on the snowmen and since it got on social media, he's now selling them all year round, and a lot more of them than he ever sold before. So that's absolutely amazing. So I am really quite pleased with that. And then I was going to go back and talk about hobbycraft, and I've forgotten where I got to with hobbycraft. Let me just have a drink and see if it aids my memory. Before I do that, I think I showed you this when I did the first bit of the broadcast that I had to cancel. This is not my biggest fan, but this is a wonderful little fan that my daughter bought them for my grandchildren. I think was it Aldi's or Lidl's? I can't remember. Was it the middle of Lidl or was it Aldi? Anyway, she bought them these. They charge on a USB port. And they're quite efficient. It really is quite efficient. Oh, I switched it off. That's not much efficient if you switch it off, is it? Hang on, let's see. Oh, I think it probably needs charging up. That's why it's not being very efficient. Please do live with Goody. It sounds amazing. Yes, I will do. I'll let you. Yes, I will try, and I'm sure he does he live stream or does he do video? I think he live streams, so I will do that certainly, Debs, if we can get a signal. If not, we'll do we'll do it as a video. Yeah. So my daughter bought my grandchildren one of these each, and she bought them each a different colour, so they can't argue whose is which. Right, okay. And I thought, oh, I fancy one of those when I'm travelling and on the train, if it's hot on the train or whatever, because it's be quite stuffy. I fancy one of those. So we went back and we got another one. In fact, we got another two because my daughter had been asked. No, she hadn't been asked. She volunteered. This week, there's a raffle every week at the Slimming World. And the proceeds of the raffle, I think they help to provide the teas and coffees and things like that. And so we usually partake in the raffle, and we have won the raffle. I won the raffle 2 or 3 weeks ago, didn't I? And the same week as I won the Slimmer of the Week. So we had all the basket of all the Slimming World things that go in for the everybody who comes to Slimming World is expected. Well, they like you to bring something to go in that basket for winners, and again, this is all to help keep the group going. And it was a good healthy basket, and I won it. So I won that the same week as I won the raffle. So that was amazing. But this week, our Slimming World consultant asked if somebody would buy the raffle prizes. She wasn't going away all week. She was going to be there at Slimming World, but she was going away over the weekend, and it took the pressure off of her having to stop and worry about raffle prizes. So she wanted to volunteer to buy the raffle prize, and my daughter volunteered. And because it was such a hot week, we decided, so it was £10. So we decided on a fan, which these were at $7.99. And then we went and got some ice cube things, some of those permanent ice cube something to do with ice cubes. And then there was a couple of pounds left over, so she bought a little squishy, a thing that's got juice in it, that it's just a concentrate, and you squirt it into your glass and then fill it up with water. So that was what the raffle prize was. And funnily enough, Tasha's friend who goes to Slimming World was the one who won it. She was sitting next to us, but there was no fix. It was just how it was. You were looking at those fans in Dunelm just before your punch in the sewing machine aisle. Now, it was not a sewing machine needle, was it, that punctured your wheel? I hope it wasn't. But yes, so this one, and I think they were Aldi, perhaps not Lidl, can't remember. And it is quite efficient, but I think it's not being efficient now because I think it needs charging up. That's it. I must get my charger out because I've used it quite a bit. So okay. But another thing I bought this week, I bought in Currys, and I did remember to use Top Cashback gift card this time, and it was so when I bought my laptop, I got the double whammy. I did Top Cashback for ordering the thing. And so I ordered it with Top Cashback. I think I said this on the broadcast. Did I say it on this broadcast, or did I say it on that original broadcast where none of the comments were coming out? Let's say it again in case it was. So I bought the laptop and I got £10 cashback because I did it through the Currys, through Top Cashback onto Currys website. Then ordered it as click and collect so we could get it quicker than it coming by by the post. And then I ordered a Top Cashback gift card to pay for it, and I got, so between the two of those I got about a tenner each on the Top Cashback, both ways. So I got a double whammy, so I got near £20 off, which was brilliant. Went back again and decided to get myself a new battery pack, because I've got a battery pack that I've had for years and years that keeps me charging up my gadgets when I'm on the go. And when I was doing a lot of live streaming, I would need a lot of battery power, and it's been going for so many years. And I just have a feeling that one day soon it's just going to stop and I will have no battery and I will run out of phone charge, maybe when I'm traveling and my ticket is usually on my phone. So I thought, right, let's get a new one. So we went and got a new one. I got one from myself, and then my daughter decided to get one. We got ones that have got solar power, so you can half charge them by solar power. I mean, you can fully charge them by putting them in electricity, or you can do half of the charge with solar power. Right, okay. They come ready charged. I didn't have it more than 5 minutes when my granddaughter sidled up to me and said, "Can I borrow your battery pack for the weekend?" This is the granddaughter who's doing all the getting all the live streams down. How could I refuse? So she's taken my battery pack away. I haven't got it back yet. It was in the car, and I said, "Oh, don't forget to give it me back," because my the other granddaughter who was away borrowed my daughter's new battery pack as well. So let's. Puncture was a design fault at the valve, not a needle, fortunately. Second time we had this. Oh, that's not very good, is it? Ailey's had a small air fan that she can put on her laptop. Oh yes, mine probably plug into my laptop. Yes, because there is a little port where I can put it in. Have you got a new laptop? Yes, I did. I got a new laptop. I got a reconditioned laptop. I didn't buy a new one. Didn't need a brand new one. Reconditioned seemed perfectly fine. And my daughter had a reconditioned one, and I got exactly the same thing as her. So there we go. Richard, is Cambridge and Cruisley Heath Hawk cycles the same? We had all children's bikes from there. Children's bikes there. All right, okay. I remember you had a red battery. It was red and black, but that one died years ago. But the silver one that I had, so I used to carry 2 battery packs because I did so much live streaming. As my granddaughter will concur, as she's sitting probably still trying to get all those live streams off Facebook. So the one that you're talking about, Ailey, That one died years ago, but the silver one's been going strong for years and years and years. But I just have a feeling that it will suddenly leave me in the lurch. So I decided to get a new one. So I bought that, and we did do our cashback. We got a cashback card on that. We didn't order those online. We just put what in the store. So we didn't get the double cashback for that. We only got the single cashback, but that didn't matter because we got cashback. In Hobbycraft, I was so busy going after this other offer. You know, I mean, really, I should have stayed at home and not spent anything. But actually, I did. Hi, Jackie. Sam's saying, his friend Jackie says hi, hello. I did want. I've bought storage boxes, quite a few storage boxes, and it's made this area where I'm sitting so much tidier. It was just mess all over the table, and now it's all neatly sorted, and I can see in the boxes what's in the boxes, which is brilliant. But I did that, and as I say, the store didn't close till 4:30, so we sort of had a good old mooch round. So I bought some. I bought one lot of stuff. I spent the £40. And got £10 off the £40, and then I did the we did £20 and got the 5 off of that. Then as we finished that, I said, I think it's a cashback. You know, I think I could have done it, bought a cashback card and paid with it. If only I thought. I worked it out. I think I lost about, by forgetting to do it, I lost about £3.15 or something. But never mind. It doesn't matter. It's not life-threatening. It's not the end of the world. So there we go. Ailey still has her red battery charger. If you've got it about the same time as I've got mine, Ailey, I bet you haven't used it nearly as much as I used mine, because of course I use mine all the time on all the live streams. Now your friend is 83 now. Oh, right, that's a good old age, 83. I'm coming up 75 this year. So, and my grandchildren have just turned they turned 18 in May, and they're the ones that are just leaving school. And now one of them's got a job, and she can do extra hours in the week. She was doing it at the weekend, but she can always get extra hours. The other one did have a job, and now that job I think has finished. But now Daddy's telling her she's got to get another job. So that's how it goes. I think that's right, because she'll need to get some money for uni. So anyway, what else has been happening in my world this week? Been sitting on that bench doing lots more of that knitting. Oh, knit! If anybody feels like they want to knit and have got time to knit before, so that I would have them to be able to have given them to the recipients before the 10th of August. We want under the sea creatures, and I have managed to locate some patterns. I have started, no, not under the sea creatures, sorry, sea creatures. So anything to do with the seaside, because the person who asked me did say something about seagulls and things like that. So I have found a seagull pattern. I've started knitting a seagull. Of course, as I told you before, lots of my patterns are at home, and I took some of them back last time thinking I wouldn't need them here, and of course I'm not going home till the end of the week, and when I get home I can knit like mad, but the 10th of August isn't very long away after I get home, and so I'm going to be I've located some patterns that I can knit while I'm here. So I'm going to be doing a bit of my friend's cardigan and a bit of sea creature, and a bit of my friend's cardigan and a bit of sea creature. If I get them muddled up, I might end up making a mermaid with a very snazzy tail that looks like what my friend's cardigan should look like, because I looked at it and I thought, hey, this would make a nice mermaid's tail. Mind you, I like to do mermaids sparkly, so I have to try and put some sparkly on my mermaids. So that's the plan. So I am, if things go according to plan, I will be home next Sunday for the broadcast. I might be exhausted next Sunday. I'm going home on Friday. We'll go to Slimming World, and then I'll book my train for later on Friday. It would be a beautiful mermaid, wouldn't it? I just thought that I could do it with, if there's any of that wool left and my friend doesn't need it, I could make it like that, and then I could put some sequiny bits on it, couldn't I? It would be beautiful. I have made a couple of mermaids in my time. A little one, I made a little one, and that little one was in that book that I took home last time. And there was a little whale in there and a little dolphin. They won't take long to make when I get home, but if I wanted to do any bigger projects, then they take a bit longer. But anyway, I'll see what I do. I'll do some things. So the things for the seaside characters, seaside characters are for raffle prizes for the Sandown Regatta. So when I was at Riverfest the other day, or back in, was it May? Was it May? I think it was in May. I saw Ben, who's part of the Sandown Carnival team, and I said, "Oh, if you need any prizes or anything like that, knitted stuff, let me know." So he did let me know, and he said, "If you can do any sea creatures, that would be wonderful." I've got the most beautiful book at home that's got an amazing octopus in it. Now, I don't know whether I'll have time to do it. What I did fancy was making the octopus and putting it on a hat and making it like an under the sea hat. I don't know if I've got time to do it. It depends what else I'm doing. Anyway, what did you miss? Tree project. The tree project. On that, I was talking about the tree outside in my daughter's front garden. It's an amazing tree. And I've watched it through all the seasons, and I photograph it each time it changes. And I always fancied it either being painted. It's a marvelous tree, painted. What I do fancy doing is all having it as a big photograph, and I do fancy making it into a family tree. So putting the family's photographs on the picture. just a little idea of mine that might work or it might not. But it's an amazing tree. It does need a bit of lopping now. It's getting very big, and so I think it will need to be lopped at some stage. I don't know much about lopping trees, and I'm not going to start learning. Police stations in Scotland are looking for trumpet teddies. Oh right, so trauma. I think that means trauma teddies. So trauma teddies. I've done. We did trauma teddies. Some of us did trauma teddies on the island. Excuse me. So the trauma teddies are the little teddy bears that people knit and give to the police, and they have some of them, they carry them in their cars, and then if they pick up a child that's in a trauma situation, they give the child one of these teddies. It's an amazing project, and it seems to work very well to calm. A teddy is a wonderful thing for calming children down. So that's what Ailey's talking about, trauma teddies. Don't worry about your spelling. I worked out what you meant. It doesn't matter. I'm not a teacher anymore, and I don't, give points out of 10 for spelling. So that's okay. So yes, it is a wonderful project, Heather. I came across it one day and encouraged this was some years ago, and encouraged some of the GoLiveGranny community to make some of those. So we did quite a few of those. We try to work to whatever project we can and support as many different charities as we can. And it's just amazing. To me, knitting is so therapeutic, really, really therapeutic. And, if I just need to calm down in any way, just sitting and doing some knitting is good. Except when I was trying to cast on this cardigan, because I'm not used to doing adult cardigans, to be honest. I have done some in the past, but it's never been my, I'm really enjoying doing the cardigan I'm doing, but it was never something I really wanted to do much of in the past. Maybe now. I like that cardigan so much, I might make myself one. But I do love making the smaller projects and seeing them finished quickly. And of course, I love making cardigans for my grandchildren. So I'm going to be making some more. I made a wonderful cardigan when my 6-year-old granddaughter was 2. I made her this lovely one with rainbows on rainbow. It was grey. It was rainbow from here to there. So the stripes as a rainbow. And we had to adapt the pattern so we could have all 7 colours of the rainbow. Or near enough. I think perhaps we only put 6. The purples, they're all a bit similar, aren't they? So I worked with my daughter-in-law, worked out how she wanted the pattern to go. and then she had grey down. The original pattern in the picture was white with rainbow, but actually with the grey it looked really nice, and it was much more practical, didn't get as dirty as quickly, or didn't show the dirt as quickly. And it was the simplest pattern. It was all in garter stitch, so that's all one stitch, just plain stitch all the way up. But garter stitch can look really nice. And you know, people say that people who've seen that cardigan have raved about that cardigan. And you know, lot of raved to my daughter-in-law, and you know, apparently it gets great compliments wherever it's seen. But to me, it's the simplest. It was the easiest cardigan possible to make, and people, you know, I say, but it's. They say, oh, you're so clever. I'm not so clever. I just use the basic knitting, and I use the bright colours. And people seem to, if it's bright and vivid like that, people seem to think it's more complicated, and it really isn't. But it's just so nice. And so that cardigan has so my son's first child wore it, and now the second one is wearing it. And I actually I've got that pattern in a bigger, it will go up to a bigger size. So I now want to knit it again for this 6-year-old, because it was just so popular. And so I'm going to knit it again in the bigger size. Really fancy one for myself like that, actually. I might do that. Who knows? When I'm not doing everything else. There's a Facebook Knitting Izzy Dolls. So there's a Facebook Knitting Izzy Dolls that's hang on, let's just push that up. That's great. Some chef dolls for Tristan too. Oh right. Oh, I did a chef. I've got one of my knitting books is, I think it's 50 little dolls to knit, and they're all different, and one of them was a chef. And you know, I made that chef, and then somebody who's not, she doesn't watch on here much, but she's, you know, she interacts with her GoLiveGranny page, and she said something about her sister was a chef, and I was going to send it to her, and I've put it somewhere and I haven't got a clue. It's not here because I'm away from home. I have to find it, and I actually have to find it and send it, because I don't know where it went. I know I didn't send it. I know I must send it. I've obviously put it in something to send, so I must do that. But it was a lovely chef, that one. So yes, there's some wonderful patterns about. So many amazing things that you can knit, you know. And I want to knit a lot more things. In one, you know, I was talking about the live streams and getting the live streams down and seeing all the memories on Facebook and that. I think in one of the live streams from many years ago, so granddaughter number 3, so we've got the twins, 18, and then we've got a 15-year-old here. And when she was 2, I started knitting a clown, a big clown. In fact, I started knitting more than one. I had 2 clowns that I hadn't finished. You know, I'd knitted, but I'd not stuffed. And of course, at 15, she doesn't really want a clown anymore. I don't know why they never got finished. But a couple of years, during COVID, I think I finished one of them off. And that has been given, that was given away. It was given to Embracing Age, who used it for dementia people. So that would have gone perhaps to an adult with dementia. But the other one is still not done. I've got a box with my PhD in it. PhD standing for not some great clever work of art. Well, it is work of art, but not that sort of work. My PhD is projects half done. So I've got a pile of things. When I go home, I need to get these things out and get them finished. And there's a clown there that I need to finish. So the body's done, but it just needs the hat and all the extra bits done. And it was one of the Jean Greenhouse patterns. And she'd made the most marvellous set of clowns, all sorts of different clowns, a gardening clown and a painting clown and all sorts of different trades. And that was just amazing. You still knit rabbits from a knitted square. All right, yeah, excellent. Did I miss anything? Heather saying she doesn't knit, but crafting is fantastic therapy for me. Oh yes, and folks, I must just come on and say I made a card. I haven't done any crafting, Oh, excuse me. Hiccups. I haven't done any crafting for ages, but I'm not sure. I'm sure most of you are aware now that Yvonne's father died 2-3 weeks ago, and the funeral is coming up next week. Now, I knew, she told me, at the time, but I didn't say anything because I wasn't sure if she was ready for people to know. But it does look like lots of you do know now, because she put something on social media thanking people for their kind words. So I decided I really needed to get a card off, which has gone off and hopefully will be there on Monday for her. And I had such pleasure at going back to doing crafting. I haven't made any cards for ages, and I had such pleasure in doing it. It was very, very simple. It was what they call a trifold card. So it was sort of had bits that come in at the side, and then it was a Sam Calcott design. And I will put the picture up, but I will put it up after Yvonne has received it. So that it will be a surprise in the envelope for her. So I will, but it was beautiful. I used, it looked so pretty, but it was one of the simplest. Sometimes the simplest are the best. I did use some silver card, and that had been embossed with like a basket weave. And then I'd used some other pretty, I'll show you. No, I don't know where I've moved the stuff. I had some pretty paper that had little hearts on it and a little bit of sparkle on it as well. And then I used some lovely pink, a pink shiny card as well. It was pinks and different shades like that. And I did enjoy it. I sat here and did. Now I've cleared all this desk, and it's so much tidier because I put all things into storage boxes. I'm going to do lots more crafting this week. I'm doing some knitting and some crafting, whatever I need to be doing. Some sitting in the garden. Sometimes I'm watering the garden because we've got all these lovely plants. I can't do some of the, we bought extra plants to fill in the gaps. I can't do much of that because it's up on a raised area. And if I start trying to do that, I know I will fall over in the flower bed and squash half the plants. So I'm not going to do that. I can do the bits where I don't have to get up into a flower bed. Who was it? It was Jackie Hennessy. I put a picture up when we came back from the garden centre, I think with the first load of plants. And my daughter and I took a picture in my daughter's car. She's got like a minibus type vehicle, and I took a picture of her and me, and the sunflower they weren't huge sunflowers, they were like this size, and that there was a picture between the sunflower was between me and my daughter, and Jackie Hennessy said we look like Bill and Ben, because of course those of you from the UK probably will know, years and years ago when we were little, we had Bill and Ben, the flower pot men, something like that. And they used to be in the garden. When the man from the garden went in to have his lunch, they would be at the bottom of the garden. They were made out of flower pots. They were the flower pot men. And so they got up to things while the man had gone in for his lunch. So we used to watch this as children, as small children. We would watch this on the TV, and in between the flower pots, and at the end, also at the beginning, they would pop up out of their they lived in flower pots, and they would pop up out of their flower pots at the beginning of the program, and then at the end they would go back down into their flower pots. But in between the flower pots was a weed. And she was a little weed, and she used to say little weed in between, and it looked like that's what Jackie was reminded of: Bill and Ben, the flower pot men, and little weed. Let's just scroll up, hang on. So you can sing a rainbow, says Ailey. She can sing a rainbow. And Heather saying she absolutely loves Sam's projects. They are all doable. They are amazing. This one, it was one she just did very recently, Heather. It was called a trifold hammock or something like that. It's one of her very recent ones. I will put it up and you will see. She says she can't wait to see my projects. You've been doing been crafting a lot to get your Christmas cards done. Oh wow. I haven't thought about Christmas yet. I will, but not yet. So let's have a look. So Ailey sending love and prayers to Yvonne, Bill and the family. Yeah, so the 24th is the day of the funeral. I will be holding them in my thoughts. Bill and Ben and Weed, Ailey's remembering as well. So let me just have another swig. Was today the longest day? No, it was yesterday. Ailey, yes, the summer solstice was yesterday. Today now we started getting shorter days. We're on our way to Christmas, aren't we? Into shorter days. So anyway, but yes, so I think this week I'm going to be doing some more crafting, and I really must get round to crafting on camera for you. Now I'm wondering with my laptop and my phone, if I got my phone and my laptop, somehow I'm going to work out and see. I was watching a girl doing some crafting. I think she was doing some something with her Cricut machine, but she wasn't doing it with an overhead so you look down on her hands. She was doing it at the side as she was crafting. So I reckon I could do something. I could be sitting crafting and have you sort of over there like I craft at the table. So I'm going to try and do that. I had my nails done, started having my nails done because I was going to do all this crafting for you on camera, and I haven't started yet, and I have been having my nails done for over a year. How bad is it? How bad is that I haven't started? I will try and do some live streaming of my crafting, but you know, I think I'm probably confident enough to do that now. At one stage I might not have been confident enough to do it, but now if it goes wrong, what's the worst that can happen? I could get a bit sticky and a bit glued up. I can cut something wrong, but you know, nobody dies when I do that. So I will see what I can do, but in the meantime, look, let me read something about old age. Look, this one is, I think I've read to you from this book before. Growing old doesn't mean growing up. It says on the back of this little book. I bought this for reading to you on broadcast. Stay young at heart by seeing the funny side of aging. So you're a little bit older, so what? Just because you're getting on a bit doesn't mean you have to start acting ancient. The universe is over 13 billion years old, and you're probably nowhere near that yet. Well, not quite anyway. Frankly, it's never too early to start enjoying your second childhood, to stop taking life so seriously and to begin acting a bit silly again. I don't think I ever stopped acting a bit silly. This book will be your go-to guide for inspiration and merriment while clocking up birthdays like they're going out of fashion. So let's have a little look. Let's see, let's go here. Right, let's have a look. Oh, right, let's read the introduction to you. That was a bit on the back. But so you're a little bit older, you're a mature, respected grown-up, but there's just one problem. Being grown up sometimes doesn't seem that much fun. There are endless bills to pay, work, jobs, chores, problems, and that's before we even get on to the people you have to deal with. It was all so much simpler back in the good old days when you were young, immature, and perhaps even slightly stupid. Life was a lot more enjoyable when you didn't have any responsibilities. But there's good news. Just because you're a little bit older, it doesn't mean you have to start acting old. The universe is over 13 billion years old, so you're probably nowhere near that yet. Oh, that's what it says on the back, wasn't it? Well, not quite anyway. The universe doesn't go around moaning about being old, does it? No, it just gets on with it. You don't hear the universe complaining about aching joints and people speaking too quietly, do you? It's never too early to start enjoying your second childhood, to stop taking life too seriously and to start acting a bit silly again. So come on, snap out of it and let's make the most of life. Or if we can't always do that, let's at least have a good old laugh while trying. After all, as a wise man once said, growing old doesn't mean growing up. Don't have to act old. No, you don't. So the telltale signs you're getting older, but you don't want to be grown up. You wear sensible shoes, but very silly socks. Oh, yes. There's one of my socks. I don't think they're really very silly. I think they're just very jazzy, aren't they? I don't know where the other one is. I've got one, and the other one's got into some other place. I don't know where it's gone. You insist your birthday cake has the full number of candles required for your age, even at the risk of incinerating your own home. I don't think you can get. I remember when my dad was 50, I made him a cake, a chocolate cake, and I put 50 candles on, and it melted the icing. Oh dear, oh dear. You have to snuggle up each night with your childhood teddy bear, no matter what your partner thinks about it. Well, A, I don't have a partner, and B, my teddy bear is not very cuddly because my teddy bear was filled with sawdust, and there's a little bit of a hole in it, and if I've cuddled it too much, all the sawdust would come out. And it's got some clothes on that really need a good old wash, but if I wash them, they're going to fall apart. I think they're a bit moth-eaten. So my teddy bear doesn't go in my bed. But I do love my teddy bear still. So, you take great pride in your garden, but your lawnmower also has Go Faster stripes on it. Just be 21 again every birthday. Yes, I think that's what I want to do, Ailey. Things to worry about for grown-ups. Things to worry about and for grown-ups and non-grown-ups. So if you're a grown-up, will my pension cover my food bills? If you're a non-grown-up, will my pension cover my alcohol bills? Not in my case, because I don't actually drink alcohol. But I should, for alcohol, I should put, will my pension cover my craft bills? I think that would be right, don't you? And if you're a grown-up, who should I put as beneficiaries in my will? And if you're a non-grown-up, how can I blow the lot before anyone else gets their hands on it? To my mind, actually, what I've already said to my kids is I'd much rather spend it on them now and see the enjoyment of them having it now. So if there is ever any spare, which is, not much, that's what I might do. How many years until I can retire is if you're a grown-up. And if you're not a grown-up, how many years until I can tell my boss exactly what I think of them? Well, I already did that. I quit my job before I was 60 because they had spoilt teaching and I wasn't going to do it anymore because it wasn't fun anymore. Right, so if you're grown up, should I be paying more attention to my health? And if you're a non-grown up, how much can I get away with before my health notices? Was there a lion called Parsley in Bill and Ben? No, there was a lion called Parsley, but that was a separate program, Ailey. Totally separate program. Bill and Ben and the Flower Pot Men was a program. There were five. Bill and Ben and Flower Pot Men was one of the Watch with Mother programs. So there were 5 Watch with Mother programs. There was, I think, Picture Book, Ragtag and Bobtail, Bill and Ben. And I can't remember what the others are. If somebody can remember, pop them in. So there were 5. If you go on Google, I'm sure it will tell you. So Watch with Mother were those programs. Yes, I love Spotty Dog. Spotty Dog used to make me laugh because Spotty Dog would move with legs like that. He doesn't. I can't exactly show you on here, but I think Spotty Dog was in Picture Book. I think there was Picture Book. I don't remember. Somebody will let us know. Magic Roundabout. Oh yes, Magic Roundabout. That was another good fun one, wasn't it? Droogle and Ermintrude and boing, said Zebedee. Those are Magic Roundabout characters. Excellent. Reasons maturity is overrated. Okay. It's just a polite way of saying old. Good morning from New Zealand. Good morning, Louise. How are you? We are having fun. We have been alive for an hour and 23 minutes. We'll be alive for a bit, live for a bit longer. We did have shenanigans at the beginning of the live stream because I was chatting away and there was no evidence of anybody joining my broadcast. And then I got a message from somebody saying, We are here, but you can't see our comments. So we went out of the broadcast and came back in again, started all over again. So now I can see all your comments, because it's much nicer to have a conversation with you rather than just spouting about anything and nobody answering me. Anyway, you're more than welcome here. Coming in from New Zealand. We're just reading a book. I'm reading a book. Growing old doesn't mean growing up. Because so reasons maturity is overrated, because unless you're a cheese or a wine, it's hard to see anything good about it. Acquiring the wisdom of years is a bit pointless if no one wants to listen to you. And that's true, you know, because trying to tell my grandson something and trying to explain that I know it because I'm older and I've learnt more things, he didn't want to know. So he was a bit like that. Acquiring the wisdom of years is a bit pointless if nobody wants to listen to you. And he certainly didn't. So there you go. Right. Mature pursuits like opera and literature are all very well, but they will never bring as much joy as a carefully placed whoopee cushion. Oops. Childish hobbies that you can take up again and the excuses you can give for them. Playing with toy cars. It's safer than driving a real one at your age. And you know, I don't drive anymore. I gave up my car, my van, when I was 60 because it needed a lot of work done on it, and I had a bus pass, so I didn't see the point in spending a lot of money that I really didn't have, or I couldn't really afford to have my vehicle done when I got a free bus pass. So I gave up then, and I haven't. I think I drove a couple of times since then, and then my license eventually ran out and I didn't renew it. So I can't drive. I wouldn't want to. I don't feel that I will be very safe now. And why drive when I can get other people to chauffeur me about? Dressing up as your favourite superhero. You're on a mission to deter criminals by making them laugh so much at the sight of you. Painting. You can now claim your doodles are primitivist artwork is worth millions. Oh my goodness, that was hard to get my tongue around. Things you should never stop doing. Never stop drawing pictures on steamed up windows. Never stop shouting in a tunnel to see if it echoes. And never stop avoiding stepping on the cracks in the pavement. As well as being a fun game, it helps you avoid any filthy puddles underfoot. Singing happily at the top of your voice without embarrassment, at least not to yourself. And there's a picture of somebody singing in the bus stop, and that's obviously not a bus stop designed on the Isle of Wight. Well, it might be one of the new ones, because on the Isle of Wight they put these, when they redesigned the bus station, you probably heard me say that they had put perches that were too high for people and too narrow for people to sit on, and the idea was that they were you're just supposed to perch your bum on them. And to know that's not good for aging population. They don't need to be perched, they need to be sat. And I did raise an issue, like I do, and I wasn't the only one, and they did change them over. But the idea of putting them like that was so that the homeless couldn't sleep on them. Now, how disgraceful is that? Anyway, not allowing a homeless person to sleep in a bus shelter when there's no buses at night. Well, we don't have many buses at night. There wouldn't be many people around. So why is it criminal to let a homeless person sleep on a bus, on a bench in a bus shelter? That's why they did it. That was absolutely abysmal. But also, what about the population who need to sit down on the bus, in the bus stops? So it did get changed. There we go. Let's have a little bit more, and then I must think about perhaps finishing up. How the young are catching up with the old. So the old are on mobility scooters and the young are on electric scooters. The old react to light spectacles and the young like shades. The old supports and replacement body parts to get to hold you together, and the young like their piercings. You remember you saying like bird perches? I did say they were like bird perches, didn't I, Ailey? Having a social life, talking to people, making friends, occasionally establishing lifelong relationships if you're old, and the young, it's all about texting. And then last page for now. Ways to resist being grown up. Hang up a stocking at Christmas, even though it may still be empty on Christmas morning. Practice doing wheelies while using your exercise bike, and skip happily along wherever you go, whether you're on the way to the pub, to see your mortgage advisor, or to a work tribunal. Oh, and just one more. Insist on climbing into the supermarket trolley when out shopping with your partner. Not sure that I would do that, because if I got into the supermarket trolley, I might get stuck and I might not get out. So there we go, folks. That was a little bit from my books. That I've got so many at home. I've got so many of these lovely little books. I must dig out some more of them to read to you. I used to read them a lot back in the COVID days when I was entertaining you all. So you wish they would put a few seats in the supermarkets here in New Zealand. Nowhere to have a rest. That was a fun book. It was a fun book. I've got a lot of fun books like that, Heather. I will read some more of them. And back to Louise. Louise, I have my what I sorry, we lost the signal there for a minute. So I have what I call my Navy Nora. My Navy Nora is it's like my walker, but it's like like a shopping bag on wheels, but it's very sturdy and it's a seat. So sometimes when I go out with my daughter, she says, "Oh, do you want Navy Nora or will shopping trolley do?" So sometimes if I'm feeling quite perky, I'll just go with the shopping trolley, because the shopping trolley can act as my walker. But sometimes when I'm tired and I think she might be going up and down all the aisles and I might want a little sit down, I take Navy Nora. So she'll push the shopping trolley and I will have Navy Nora. So if I get tired, I can sit down. So for example, if she was going to go and do some clothes shopping and I was tired, I'd go with her so I can have have time with her. But then I might just sit. Oh, the other day we did it when we were out with the children. The day after they finished school, we went out again. We took them out into town, and they wanted to go around one of the clothes stores. So I took Navy Nora, and then they had bubble tea. They were given. That's right, I remember. They were given bubble. They wanted some bubble tea, so Mummy bought them bubble tea. And so then they want to look at the clothes. So what happens to the bubble tea? Granny's tired. So Granny sits on Navy Nora, and then I sit holding two bubble tea cups. They did say I could have some of the bubble tea, so I did have a little bit of the bubble. I don't know the sin value of bubble tea. Do you know the sin value of bubble tea?
No idea.
No, she doesn't. She's just put her head round the door. Night night. See you in the morning. I'm nearly finished. Is my laptop down there?
So she ran out of storage. You've got a cat.
She ran out of storage. Okay, thank you.
The cat's coming.
That's why she gave up, obviously. I got a cat. I don't want a cat. Can the cats leave the house? We don't have Steve in the house tonight, but we have a cat in the house. No. Oh, we do have a Steve here. No, my Steve is not in the house. Steve, the window cleaner, is not in the house tonight. But we have a cat. Come on, cat, out. Leave the door open. The cat come out.
You might get more cats.
Oh, except I'm talking and you're...
You might get more cats.
I don't want more cats. I don't want cats. I'm not a cat person. Come on, you. Out.
Is she there?
Jeez. Excuse me, folks. I'm going to chase the cat out. What? Come on, you. No, she's going the wrong way. She's going to jump out the window.
Close the window.
You can't jump out the window.
Close the window.
Come on, you. Out. Oh, she's going out the window.
Oh, Ma.
But she's stuck. She's... Sorry, folks. I'm coming back. Oh, no. That's a naughty cat who snuck in.
Can't get through.
Oh, she can't get through with the cat. Naughty cat. Is the naughty cat saying hello? It all happens here, folks. She tried to jump out the window, but the window wasn't open enough. And I don't like handling cats, so I'm not a cat person. So I would be... Oh yes, Ailey's saying I would be sitting on the naughty step if I had tried to get into the shopping trolley. I would. I would be in trouble, wouldn't I? So What was I saying before the cat so rudely interrupted me? I can't remember. It's a bit warm in here. I'm going to have to go in a minute. And I don't know if you heard my daughter say my granddaughter stopped downloading because apparently we've run out of storage on the laptop. So I will probably have to sort something out tomorrow. when they said, Facebook originally told me, they said I'd only got till the 24th to download my my videos, and then yesterday they told me I got till the 27th, which is the end of the week. So we will get whatever live streams we can get, and if we miss any, well, nobody's going to die. It's not the end of the world. There are hundreds of them to look at. Anyway, folks, I think I am going to finish up now. I am getting a bit tired. I'm a bit hot, and if I have the door open and I'm talking to you, it would disturb the others. They've all gone to bed now, so I don't want to disturb them. And I might just go and do a little bit of knitting for a minute, just a little bit to finish off my evening. Anyway, next week I will be, if it goes according to plan, which it might, I will be back at home next weekend. And I was going to tell you, I will have had a busy day, because I'm hoping to go back on Friday afternoon. I'm going to have a fairly quiet Saturday. Well, that's the plan. It might not turn out that way. I don't quite know what's happening on the island on Saturday, but on Sunday we have the Armed Forces Day, and we've got the Red Arrows coming over, right? Which is, amazing. They did a fundraiser so we could have the Red Arrows, so that's amazing. But I must remember to note to self, this time I will book a taxi to get down to the seafront, because last time I decided, I won't get a taxi, I'll go on the bus. So I went and stood at the bus stop. But of course, I live in Ryde, and I stood at a bus stop in Ryde because it's such a major event, and I don't think I realised how major it was going to be. I stood at a bus stop in Ryde, but forgetting that everybody in Newport who wanted to come to Ryde would already be on the bus. So that when the buses got to the Ryde bus stops, nobody was getting off. So there was no room for anybody else to get on. So lots and lots of us were standing at the bus stop, and all the buses were going straight past because nobody was getting off. So there was no room for us. And so in the end, I knew that we were going to miss the start of them, and we would miss the Red Arrows because we had them before. And so I rang the local taxi company, and I said, I was just telling my daughter this earlier, I said to them, there were one or two people standing, next to me that I've been chatting to that were older people. And so I said, well, look, I'm going to get a taxi and I'm going to pay for it anyway. So rather than just me go in the taxi, why don't you come in the taxi as well? So there was a couple of people who were going to join me in the taxi, and then there was another couple standing there. I said we could probably take one more, and one of that couple had a mobility issue, so he came in the car, and the other lady managed, I don't know what she did, she must have waited, maybe some buses came through eventually that hadn't got people on them, I don't know, but we went in we filled the taxi because it seemed silly not to, and then one of the guys actually did give some money towards it, but I didn't really want it. I was going in the taxi anyway, but we got there in time to see the Red Arrows. That's the important point. So this time I'm not even going to think about going on the bus. I will book myself a taxi in plenty of time to get down there, and make sure the taxi goes the other way round to the seafront, because there will be a lot of traffic coming in from the Newport direction. Mind you, there might be traffic coming in. No, but we can go around the back streets and get down there. That will work. So, folks, I'm going to take a break now and have a little bit of knitting time before I go to bed. And thank you for joining me. Thank you for being patient at the beginning of the broadcast when, of course, we had an issue when I first went live. But this was take 2, and take 2 worked. So thank you very much, all of you, from wherever you came in the world. So we had the States, we had New Zealand, I didn't see Hazel come in today. She's in Australia, but she might watch the replay. And I don't know. I think that was it. We had Scotland in. We had UK. Thank you all for wherever you are, and any of you watching in the future, thank you for joining in too. So I'm going to love you and leave you, and catch you all again this time next week. Well, earlier than this next week, so 8:15 next Sunday, all being well. Have a wonderful week. Do keep chatting to me online, and I'll keep posting up what I'm up to. And you know, you're just amazing because you still react so much to so much of the stuff I put online. And that picture of the ice cream, that one had a lot of people looking. And the picture of me and my daughter when we had just had we were big. I think I put we are losers, didn't I? I said we are losers because we both lost weight. That had a load of interaction. It's just lovely for you all to keep interacting. Bye for now. See you soon. Take care.